When politicians want us to get to know them better, they often recruit their partners. So, with an election campaign in full swing, what do we know about Jenny and Jody?
I think politics should be just about politics and not about the people in them.
They're all performers, so they can kind of be whoever they want to be to suit the audience.
It's very nice to know they're there, but it doesn't affect me either way.
For some of us, the thought of another 5 weeks of election promises, publicity stunts and potential blunders already feels exhausting, and all we have to do is show up and vote. But for the loved ones of our political leaders, the next month and a bit might be the most difficult time of their lives as they find themselves in the spotlight.
I think their family does have an influence, but it doesn't influence me in who I'm choosing.
It's inevitable that the Prime Minister's wife Jenny and Anthony Albanese's partner Jody Hayden have found themselves the subject of recent public attention. But firstly, is that fair on them? Or is the spouse of someone seeking to be Prime Minister a public role? We asked Melbourne University political scientist Lauren Rosewarne.
It can be made a public role if the candidate chooses to do so. For example, what type of public-facing role the wife of our Prime Minister or the spouse of our Prime Minister has is very much dependent on that particular politician, that particular leader.
This election, the loved ones of both party leaders have appeared on public record. Jenny Morrison in a much-discussed 60 Minutes feature, while Jody Hayden gave a lengthy magazine interview at the weekend. Lauren, do you think the partner of the Prime Minister or opposition leader has an effect on the campaign?
I think we overplay a lot of different individual elements as to what will make or break a candidacy, right? That said, likability has some role in, for example, media coverage. And I think that is where things that the wife, in this case, might do may help or hinder coverage.
So what do we know about Jenny and Jody? In the Prime Minister's case, the pair met at church as teenagers and married in their 20s, sticking together as Scott rose through political life.
Look, and I can take a joke. Like, I can take a joke, and I think I'm quite a strong... I've had to be independent and strong because of the life that I live with Scott.
Jenny was a registered nurse who became a first-time mum at the age of 39 after a number of unsuccessful IVF treatments. The Morrisons have 2 daughters, Abby and Lily.
I'm not a fan of politics, so I just find it too much, too ruthless, too much going on.
Jody Hayden has spent 20 years in the superannuation industry and grew up on the New South Wales Central Coast. Hayden began dating opposition leader Anthony Albanese in 2019 after they first connected as fellow supporters of the South Sydney Rabbitohs.
We're at a conference and then we met up for a drink. Early stages, but it's a nice relationship.
I'm actually a private person by nature, Hayden told News Limited at the weekend. Anthony is the one here who is running for political office. My job will be to focus on my day job and allow Anthony to focus on his. Mr Albanese is 16 years older and recently divorced with 1 son. Do you think there's more focus on political partners these days? And if so, why is that?
I think Australia's coverage of political campaigns has become increasingly Americanised. And by that, I mean very presidential in style. For example, as though it's a, Albanese versus Morrison. So I think that idea of an increasingly presidential style of campaigning and coverage means that things like personality, personal branding, spouse, weight loss, all of these things become more important.
And while experts, the media and politicians will continue to discuss what matters, ultimately, you get to make that decision. Inside a ballot box on May 21.